When we thought about how we respond, we wanted to come up with a project that would really shine a light on success, how communities were taking action on climate change, what they were doing to reduce their risks and be more resilient.
A lot of the news can be kind of sad. Like, things are getting really bad in terms of climate issues. We know that we're going to have larger sea level rise. We know that there are people that are at risk in terms of their income and what's going to happen.
Everywhere we have a message of doom and gloom, and we're done, humanity will end, and so on. And you know what? Humanity is resilient.
In 2014, we had a project called What We Know that focused on the realities, risks, and responses to climate change.
At the time, responses were still fairly nascent, especially in the United States. And I think since then we've moved the conversation on. Communities are actually responding to climate issues now, and they're doing a lot of really interesting things. So this project, How We Respond, was meant to follow on that and to show examples and highlight how communities are working with scientists to do things in response to climate change.
So the idea of this campaign is also showing all these things that nobody talks about, showing all these things that are happening at the grassroots level, where you have meaningful, motivated, eager to make a change individuals that are making a change. So the story about hope, the story about difference can happen, the story about people can get together to make a difference is the story that this campaign wants to tell.
For How We Respond, we wanted to share several messages. The first is that there is science available that can help us make decisions now. We also wanted to talk about the many reasons that communities might act on climate change. Then we wanted to showcase how communities and scientists actually work together. When we thought about the communities that we wanted to showcase in How We Respond, we wanted to highlight communities that were from across the United States. So we wanted to really showcase that action on climate change was taking place in the heartland, that it was taking place on the coast, that it was taking place in the northern US, the southern US, everywhere.
Climate problems and solutions are intensely local and intensely personal. And so we have to really break down how we address and how we respond to climate problems by making it locally relevant and showing people that in communities just like theirs, scientists and others are leading the way to solutions. Here's a little known fact. Scientists all live somewhere. They all live in a house, on a street, in a neighborhood, in a community. They're ordinary people with extraordinary skills. And so connecting scientists with the people who they interact with every day and reminding them that we have tools available to solve problems big and small around climate and other problems.
Here is what we're doing. Here are ways that people like you are taking action, that communities like yours are thinking about how climate change is impacting them and thinking about how they can work together to respond to those impacts.
I have a 14-year-old. I'm concerned about the world that he will experience when he's my age. I want to be one of the people among thousands and thousands, and I want more people to join us to say, at the end of our careers, I did everything I could, and I did a lot.
We wanted to show that there is hope and that there is something that we can do now to respond to climate change.